Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this evening. I wanted to talk a little bit about why things like the shooting that took place in Florida happen. Every time a shooting like this happens, there's a lot of people who always say, what makes a person do this? And I think the answer is extremely simple why things like this happen. And I think all we need to do is take a look at how we were brought up. When I was brought up, I was born in the early 60s. We were brought up very strictly. We opened our mouths to our moms, got a freaking backhand right to the face. Yeah, got your ass kicked. I'm sorry about the language, but that's how we were brought up. And it may sound vicious, but in the 60s and the 70s and even in the 80s, these types of things were not happening as regularly as they are occurring today. And I'm not just talking about the shooting. I'm talking about other crimes. The explosion of heroin use, the home invasions to get the heroin or other drugs, carjackings. There's this game that gangsters like to do. They'll walk up to an old man standing on the street and just freaking deck them and challenge each other if they can knock them out. It's called the knockout game or the punching game. Google it. Our society is getting so vicious, and I'm not talking about everybody, but it is not an irregular thing to hear about crimes, even as simple as stealing donations from a church. But these shootings, gun control is not the answer. Liberals, and I don't want to use the word liberals, I think socialists have done this. There's been a breakdown of society. And I want to do this video with the analogy of an ecosystem. For those who've taken science class. Now, I don't profess to be an all-knowing science guy, but in order to get my degree, I had to take a semester or two of science. And one of the things we talked about one week or over the course of a couple of weeks was ecosystems. There's ecosystems all around us. It could be a marsh with a lake. It can be parts of an ocean. And within the ocean, there could be different ecosystems and whatnot. There could be ecosystems in the desert. There are. Not could be. There are. There's ecosystems all over. Wherever there is anything plant-based or animal-based, that is an ecosystem. And within an ecosystem, there's checks and balances regarding plant life, insect life, animal life, that sort of thing. If one species gets killed off, the others will overflourish and totally decimate the ecosystem. That sort of thing is what I'm trying to say. And it is my contention, my belief, that this socialist agenda that's been occurring since the 60s, since the 70s, is what is causing our ecosystem to react the way it is. When I was a kid, like I said before in other videos and whatnot, the way I was raised and the way all my neighbors were raised in the New York, in the Bronx and whatnot, so much as looked at your mom sideways, cross-eyed, I'm gonna cuss. You would get your ass beat. A freaking hand right across the face, and then when your dad came home from work, you get the other side of the hand across the other side of the face. You get your ass kicked. Although it seemed a harsher way to be brought up, people were better for it. And not just the ass whipping, because that was a small part of being disciplined. Being disciplined is very important. And these socialist groups, they started out with making disciplining illegal. You can get your ass thrown in jail if you spank your kid now. Yes, you can. These socialist groups did this. Why? There's a whole conspiracy theory why they're doing this to society. So we've taken some tools away from some good people, like reprimanding our kids. Now, they're talking about taking tools of protecting your family and your kids away. The same thing in the ecosystem. There's always whenever one action is, there's the opposite action. You stop reprimanding your kids, stop spanking your kids, stop punishing your kids, taking those tools, they're very important tools, away, what's going to happen? The opposite's going to happen. Bad will flourish. You'll have bad kids and whatnot. You take tools away to protect your family, take these away from the good people, what's going to happen in this ecosystem? The bad people will rise up knowing that you're defenseless. And the fact is they won't be giving up their guns. That's why they call them criminals. So again, you throw off that ecosystem. And there's just, I can go on and on and on with this ecosystem analogy. But we are demonizing bad people. And the most important countermeasure in the humankind ecosystem is God. Socialists have removed God from just about everything they can think of. Now we got a society who half of them don't even know what God is, have never even read the Bible. They have no fear of meeting their maker and being judged now. Never been punished, beat. Now their kids are having kids. And these kids don't know how to be parents. The only thing they know how to do is be friends. So now you got a child who looks up to their parent, and the parent only knows how to be a friend. Friends take advantage of friends. Please buy me this or I'm going to kick and scream and be a spoiled brat. Kick and scream inside Walmart as loud as they can. You see it all the time. The mom gives in, buys the kid all this junky candy, throws her freaking sugar levels out of whack. Next thing you know, they're on all kinds of psychotropic drugs because of depression and because they're freaking overactive or whatnot. I was going to say the F word. We're messing with the human ecosystem. And it is getting off kilter. It's getting out of whack. I almost touched on this. I think these socialists are actually, they're engineering our future in a purposeful manner. The way the socialists are working, in my opinion, is they're creating a weak society, a drug-addicted society, a mentally unstable society, a society where they're not learning what they should be learning in school. Now schools just tells them how to think, sends them off to college where they get hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Boom, they're done. That's what schools do now. Teach them enough just to get out and get a couple of $100,000 in debt and be slaves for the rest of their lives. When you create a dumbed down society, the people who are trying to control you will have an easier time doing so. Economically and socially. They're doing it through welfare and food stamps and whatnot. And those who take the food stamps, those who give you things, basically own you. Anyway, folks, this was a small rant. It's just an opinion. I appreciate your comment. But I don't believe taking guns away from people is the answer to this shooting. I think what we need to do, and I'll just end the video, we just need to go back to old school. Go back to the way things used to be. When we were children, I mean, if you're my age, I'm mid-50s. I mean, if you're 20 years old, you're not going to know what I'm talking about, being beat, or sitting at a dinner table until every bit of food was gone. And I don't mean no disrespect to you, but back in the day, that's how we were raised, very strictly. Okay, it wasn't abuse. It was just a way of, teaching your kids how to behave in public, talk to one another, and whatnot. Anyway, folks, that's all we need to do. We need to go back in time, go back the way things used to be, start raising our kids the way we used to be raising our kids, and not let the government tell us that you'll go to jail when you spank your kid on the ass. Have a great day.